We're starting.
Hello.
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 Every Rush song.
Hello and welcome to Every Rush Song. That's what this show is about. We will soon analyze and discuss every Rush song. You can email us 2112 at everyrushsong.com, and we're every Rush song on every social media platform. But today, Tim, what song are we discussing? Why do I get closer?
Well, Shayne, today we're talking about a very serious song. It's about emotion.
Oh my gosh, no.
About Emotion Detector.
Wow.
Now I'm angry. Detect that emotion.
God.
Are we explicit?
I
I
guess we
forgot.
are now.
I guess we are now.
We are
My emotion detector
You're
is
the
detecting
bitches
that
of
Tim's
the
emotions
dog.
are all over the place. All right.
Now, is that
Tim?
emotion or emotion? Like emote? You emote. You emote.
You emote the shun, and we
Yes. Yes.
I shun thee.
I
That's it.
suspect that Shayne, this is one of Shayne's favorites.
It is not.
Really?
Yeah, it is not.
Oh.
But I also know that it's one of Tim's. Ooh, clap on. Okay. I know it's one of Tim's least favorites. So I'd like to hear from him first his general thoughts about Emotion Detector.
Yeah.
I really don't have a lot. It was a song when this album came out. I gave it a listen
It's true.
and I went, "Oh,
Okay.
man, on this." And I listened to the song, and again, it's Rush. If this was the only song Rush had ever done, then I would have been a huge Flock of Seagulls fan.
Oh. And I ran.
I've run so far away.
Hey, side
I'm a-
note, that
I
song
mean, this is a
played.
very poppy 80s song. It's just, I mean, it's not great. It's not one of the greater Rush songs, to be sure.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it sounds like Neil had an idea lyrically, and
Lyrically, it's great. I love the
and
lyrics.
musically, it was probably some leftover bits that Getty and Alex had been working on, and they
Yeah.
said, "Oh, she's crying out loud! We're only at 7. We have to come up with another song." And no, we're not going to do another instrumental because everybody wants us and expects us to do another instrumental. We're not going to do it.
Mm,
And
Oh, this should have been an instrumental.
no.
No,
No.
it shouldn't have.
I
It should have been spoken word.
I think I might change your minds a little bit about Emotion Detector.
It should have been spoken word, like a Jim Morrison type of thing.
Yeah, like
then
have.
do it.
Okay. Yep. Maybe an instrumental, shorter, and then have someone else, James Earl Jones or
I mean, once again, it
Matthew
is talking
McConaughey.
about the power of our emotions.
Power.
Right.
Good call, Tim.
What did you interpret as far as the lyrics are concerned? What was your interpretation of the lyrics?
Who wants to go first?
You.
I just scared myself with my Sharpie.
Golly.
Let me.
And that was the worst looking at you.
It wasn't even a spider, it was a Sharpie. All right. I'm going to put on my glasses so I can read my notes.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
He's Stark guy.
Tony.
Edith,
That's the one.
deploy the droid things. Emotion Detector. It's about opening up and being vulnerable so that you can be open to connection with others and form the true bonds that make real connections. However, that's complicated by our shallow needs and fears we can't be too needy and crave attention. It's not the attention that we want because the attention is shallow. And since our self worth is governed by the approval of others, we're fake instead of vulnerable. The connection from being open and sincere is the goal, the beautiful part.
Well,
You know, the one lyric that does stick out to me, and it is so true, and it's always been true, and it's always going to be true, is where Neil writes, "It's true that love can change us, never quite enough." So think about it.
Oh, I am.
You fell in love, you married the woman that you fell in love with,
Mhm.
and since that time, you've never had a disagreement, an argument, you've never been in a bad mood just
Mm.
because you were in a bad mood. See, you would think that because you're in love, that it changed you enough that you would never act immature and
Mm.
spoiled and selfish, but it
Is that how
doesn't
it goes?
change us. Huh?
Is that
oh
how
no,
it
yeah, that
works?
never goes away.
Never goes away. But it does change us enough to at least hopefully you recognize when you are acting a fool.
And yeah, and you try to better yourself, try to be the best version of
Yeah.
yourself.
How many people do that?
3.
3. Us 3? We yeah, nobody else does that.
Just
Well,
us.
I know you do, Jeff. And I
No,
know
I
you
don't.
do, Tim.
No, he doesn't.
I'm pretty sure Jay does, but I'm pretty sure Tim doesn't.
I think Tim
Oh
does.
yeah, especially the older you get.
So I much like you, I took this about song to be about opening your heart to love and how hard it is to trust. Maybe you got burned in the past, maybe you're afraid of getting burned again. But you put on a front, um, maybe act like someone you aren't as a shield from getting hurt. And I really like the line in there. Trust is just as sorry, trust is just as rare as devotion. Forgive us our cynical thoughts. You know, you're already you know you just know it's gonna things are not gonna end, and so you're putting your you know putting the shield up because you've been hurt and you figure you're gonna get hurt again. Um, on the ticket.
And it's hard to find that line, right, between being open and letting yourself be a little vulnerable, but also
Right.
just being because you have to be open and willing to bend, but you can't be too rigid and unwilling to learn or to bend. Or, just like cross a very thin line. There's that point where you're too susceptible to being offended or too susceptible to being hurt, a little too weak
Right.
for
And then
vulnerability.
if you bend too much, in other words, if you try to become the person you think that they want, then eventually you uh end up resenting them and yourself for doing that.
Do we have like a Zoom 5? Oh, it's backward. I'll take that as a no, and I will never try that again. Tim's not even trying to turn on his lights with that. Yeah, probably music, like a song, definitely the last best song on the album, but lyrically, there's so much here.
Yeah, that's why I say it's musically, yeah, but
Because even
lyrically it's still great.
it doesn't even have Alex's cool ska. I mean, they don't have that. It doesn't have that cool ska
Yeah.
style. It's more
Well,
laid back.
it's more spacey and just there's just not yeah, it's not much to it. You know, you've got Getty doing his usual the walk of the bass guitar and all that, but it's just
Does have a cool funky bass line.
yeah. I find Getty tries to save every song in some
He
songs.
tries to save every song.
Yeah.
That's,
I
that's
think
a
this was
that's a hot
those
Rush opinion.
songs where Alex was trying to come up with a guitar part to fit the song.
Okay, yeah. I can see
You
that.
know,
Yeah, I wouldn't argue
Well,
with
it's very unrushed like the song. I mean, it's just, it's the musically, so he's trying to figure out how to make it their song without and it's difficult. I mean, it's just not this is not Rush to me. This is not a Rush song. It is a Rush song.
And isn't it what they call the production song, where it's kind of that song that maybe wasn't intended to play live?
Yeah. It's probably the song that's like, all right, well, this is the least crappy of the ones we recorded. Let's throw that one on there. Because every musician, I mean, they've probably got hundreds of really just crap songs, and they pick, they and because all great musicians, songwriters do. I read that Billy Joel he's recorded so many different songs. He's done so many things, and none of them, he says, none of them are going to see the light of day because they are absolute crap. But you have to do that. You get through the crap to get to the rainbow.
and right, and then that's where a good producer comes in and tries to think about, okay, you think it's a crap song, but I think your fan base may really like this song.
Right? Yeah. You
You know,
you have somebody that's on the outside listening and knowing that has a better pulse of the listener and knowing that okay, this guy has an ear for it, and he's like, yeah, you may think it's crap song, but I'm telling you, it's still gonna work.
Do most people like this song? Do most Rush fans like this song?
I don't
uh,
know.
I don't know. I never bring it up. I'm
You really
afraid.
don't.
I'm afraid of opening up and saying,
See,
"Hey, I sort of like Emotion Detector, but I'm not really sure. What do you think?" And they think I'm an idiot.
I'm afraid to bring it up because feelings run high.
is there no part of surely there's some part of the song that you like? I mean, don't you like that ba 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 bum, almost like kind of a Beethoven-esque ba 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 bum?
Well, there's a part where it opens up and it's very poppy and it opens up and then there's the big chorus bum 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 and it's kind of right to the heart of the matter and then that's
It's a beautiful day.
yeah. I like that part.
Yeah, yeah. It just
Cool.
Yeah.
seems like it takes forever to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, takes a
And
while to get there.
I mean, I do like lyrically, I like the song.
Absolutely.
It's yeah, it's just, but even then, it's not one of those songs. I guess easily singable.
Yeah, yeah.
Just I don't. There's a lot of stuff going on. I like sometimes our big splashes are just ripples in the pool.
That's a great line. That's a great
know,
lyric.
Don't love great lines. That's the thing.
And
Yeah,
then and I
So
run and so far away. Oh wait, no, that's a different song. Never mind.
you're back to Flock of Seagulls.
Flock of Seagulls.
and
Great
because
solo.
caca, and because I don't listen to this song enough, I don't know all the lyrics. So I did look the lyrics up,
I'll help you.
and I find on this, and I don't even know what lyric page this is, where it's coming from, but it credits as songwriters Alex Zivojanovic, his real last name, Alex's real last name, Gary Lee, is it Weinrib?
Is that Geddy Lee's?
Yeah, his real name is Weinrib, and then Neil Elwood Peer.
Yeah, I love the middle name, by the way. Elwood.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
one of the aliases he used when he was traveling. on
Was
the
Elwood?
from the book. Yeah, he used the name Elwood
That's true.
Yeah,
because of
Yeah.
he said it was a good blues name when he was traveling around and didn't want to be
Of course it
didn't want
is.
to
You
be
got
in the
Elwood
limelight.
Blues, my friend.
right. Right.
Yes. And
So
the solo, I mean, the solo is good. It's almost a minute long solo, and it's in like Big Money. The solo's in two parts. You start off with kind of the first half where you have the badass bass line, but a more low key drum part,
Yeah. In a way,
and then
except for the solo, I mean, it's a okay
or
solo. It doesn't do much for me.
but
In a way, it's sort of like what Neil does on Signals on Analog Kid.
go
When
on.
when Alex is doing guitar solo on that, Neil is just doing kick, drum, and snare. And he's doing the same thing here, but he's not doing snare. This was an electronic drum song.
yeah, you're right.
Where now he does use, I think he uses maybe a floor tom, or maybe hits one of his higher toms that are right to his right and left in the song, but he's using his electronic kit on this song.
Okay, so that why it's harder to hear the hi hat in the ride?
No, because Neil did not use electronic cymbals.
So why it seems like on this song it's a
He
lot
he
harder.
just he just used the electronic drums, but he wasn't using the electronic cymbal pads.
Okay, because it almost sounds like on some of it, like in the intro, it almost sounds like there's not even any like he's just going dum 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 without anything on a hi hat or a ride. But if you listen super close,
Because from the intro, that's what he's doing. He's not doing hi hat.
okay, so it's just dum, 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 dum. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, good job.
You've all but disappeared, Tim.
Wait a lot.
There he is.
Oh, jump scare.
Disappear again.
I like on the last chorus where
Just
on
kidding.
the bum 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 right to
Oh
the
no.
front. They don't have they just kind of pause there, the bass
Yeah.
and the guitar. Bum 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 bum.
Right
Not
to
doing
the
anything
heart
kind of
of the
adds to the
man.
intensity of that last verse.
Well,
Believe it or not, I have a lot of notes on the lyrics.
oh,
Really?
Lord.
Do we have to hear them all?
I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding. Not really, but I am.
Well, and it's kind of that whole thing about it's that balance between being vulnerable and rigid and vulnerable and too wishy-washy.
Yeah.
We lift the cover from our feelings, we expose our insecure thoughts because it's scary to open up, allow yourself to be vulnerable and reveal those things that you're insecure about. Yet, the best way to live, the most fulfilling way to live is to open up and form those connections with others.
Yeah.
Trust, just as rare as devotion, the line that Jay liked. It's a brilliant line because it's kind of putting the blame on both. He's not just saying, and it's not just because you can't trust other people. It's not other people that the problem. Devotion isn't the problem. Trust is just as big of a problem, right?
Yeah.
Though not being able to make a connection is as much because you don't trust or can't trust as it is because you can't because the other person isn't trustworthy.
Now I relate to this line. If we need too much attention, not content with being cool, we must throw ourselves wide open and start acting like a fool.
You don't do that.
Never.
And then, of course, there's the other side of that. If we get too much attention, it gets hard to overrule. So often, fragile power turns to scorn and
And
ridicule.
ridicule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way he switched it around from needing too much is
Yeah.
one problem, but getting too much is also another problem.
Yeah. As did I.
Because I mean, I guess we know people who are the cooler, more aloof. They don't open up. They're kind of refined, I guess.
Yeah.
And
No, I agree.
is it because they're more confident in themselves, or is it because they're less confident and don't open up?
It could be either.
Yeah, it could
Right.
be either. You don't know because then it's up to you to try to. He's
Yeah.
kind of saying this is what you need to do. He's not saying how, but you need to find that balance between do you want to be cool and disconnected and not make those connections, or do you want to open up?
Do you
And
want to be
then
you want to be on the dark side? Do you want to be on the light side, or you want to bring balance to the force?
Right. And I like this line: if we need too much approval, then the cuts can seem too cruel. So if you're needing to be approved by everybody, then if anybody says something negative,
It makes it all the worse.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
wait a second, everybody approves of me. Why don't you? That one can hurt you
Yeah.
because you're so emotional. And I'm
Well,
detecting all of it.
detecting
you
all
got
that.
emotional.
No, and I know someone like that. She's really competitive and she's really concerned with what other people think of her and how she compares to other people. And like minor criticisms, she takes a little more seriously. And then even things that aren't really criticisms, they're just something else entirely. She takes them the wrong way and she takes them as criticisms and she feels insulted, even though those things weren't meant to be insulted, just because she's seeking that external approval and she's great at what she does. She's one of the best I know at what she does, but for some reason she still seeks that that external approval and things that aren't cuts or insults seem more intense or more severe than they are to her because of that. Thanks. Nick.
Yeah.
It's all your fault. Right to the heart of the matter, right to the beautiful part. Illusions are painfully shattered. Right where discovery starts, because that's what connection's about.
That's funny because I just saw that's what it actually says.
Wait,
I
what does she
thought-
think it said?
I thought it said right where the story starts. I'm an idiot.
I thought it said illusions of painful sharts. So I
Wow. Wow. We are gonna need a bigger boat.
Oh. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
That's
that's
a
what the connection
20-footer.
is. Being
25.
vulnerable, but sincere. When you open up and you're sincere, that's when you make the discovery. That's when you figure out what you're really about, what the connection's really about, and all those things that you thought were true are shattered, painfully shattered, because sometimes it does hurt when those things that you thought were real aren't real.
that
Shane's
reminds me of a
smart.
Groucho Marx quote. It's about something about the secret to life is integrity and sincerity. If you can fake those two things, you've got it made. Something like that. I know I'm getting it wrong. That's a paraphrase, but
But yeah, it's we kind of know what you're talking about. Oh, and that part about there's two lines. He talks about being a fool twice. He talks about it in The Big Money, the fool on television that gets paid to play the
To
fool.
play the fool.
When we throw ourselves wide open, we start acting like a fool. Is there any connection with those and that? None. Just happens to use the fool. I mean, fool is a common word, right?
I mean, and let's
But-
face it. Who's the bigger the fool? The fool follows.
True. Very well.
Who's the bigger the fools?
Well phrased, Jay.
I became Chico Marx
There was the pool part. Neil has a lot of water references where we talk, sometimes our big splashes are ripples in the pool.
Yeah.
Kind of what you think is what's big and meaningful to you in the grand
Just
scheme of
so
things
much.
Right.
doesn't mean anything. And is that
Like this
because
podcast.
when people living in their pools, they soon forget about the sea?
Yes. It's true though. I mean, you're right. Yeah.
Shout out to natural
To
science.
seas. Shout out to seas everywhere.
Well, because you mentioned that. That's a line from Natural Science. Living in the pools, they soon forget about the sea. People in their own little worlds kind of forget about the bigger picture, and they think their effect is big when really it's nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So, Tim, did we make you like Emotion Detector anymore or any less?
What's about the
So-
now that I understand that it's a discovery, not the story starts, I feel better about myself.
About your what could this strange device be? It's my heart, and it's vulnerable. It's open to you.
Oh, stop it for crying out loud. Okay. I'm about to scream so we can wake everybody up.
Scream,
okay.
wake everybody up.
Tell us how this ends.
Tell us how this thing ends, Tim.
Tim, take us home.
Bring it home.
All right, people of Waco, we love you so. We thank you for being such a wonderful audience, and we hope to see you again sometime. Thank you.